Yeah, exactly. Holy cow.
Okay, does everybody have a copy of the agenda and the minutes?
I don't have minutes.
Okay, can we pass the minutes?
I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Maybe you can make it doesn't call me.
Yeah.
Here, go sit. Not a bed. Please.
I don't know where the minutes.
Okay.
Oh.
You just handed them to me.
Oh,
those are minutes. Okay. I printed mine up.
Yeah.
That's my minutes. Okay, we're gonna call meeting to order. 7:07, even Gavis. The attendance sheet should be coming around. Please make sure to sign it if you have not already. That was our roll call. A couple of members that were excused. We just received the minutes, so if we want to take a minute to read over them.
Diane has not signed.
No,
I think she was over there talking, so.
Yeah, I was talking, sorry.
No, all good.
Germany.
Shirley does.
Under, yeah. Oh, that's her. She just. She's just not communicating.
Has everyone had a chance to read? Are we still going through them? Does anyone have any questions or corrections?
Carol's name is spelled wrong under new business. He won't, but that's okay. I know who I am.
No, we're gonna get it right.
Shirley.
Surely you're mistaken.
What's the one in airplane? All right. Anybody like to make a motion with the correction of Cheryl's name? To accept the minutes as amended.
There's another correction under C, sustainability. It says Lisa spoke to the commission regarding entrance signs, and then it said the city would like to have the plants changed. The city asked us to take on another project other than that project.
So that was after the minutes were recorded. The minutes are.
Is that right?
Yes, it was, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
No,
found that.
No worries at all. No, that was what the original intent, and then I think things changed after that, so. I don't know if we.
I believe Linda Lodge is spelled wrong. I think it's an E.
Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. You may want to, in sustainability, talk about that change too, and then it'll be recorded in September's. Like, how that probably should be handled. Sure. We can do that.
We approved the minutes as amended, or corrected, not amended.
For a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? They are accepted. Thank you all for all your diligent work. We'll talk more about beautification realize obviously under new business. Thank you for being timely and getting all of this stuff in. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to our awards program this year. I will have a sign-up sheet for jobs and whatnot for October so that we can get organized for the program itself. That sounds good. Okay. And then I wanted to let you all know that I'm going to probably step down from the chair position after this year. I just have too much on my plate with my dad, and all of that, and I just don't think that I'm being a very effective leader. It has nothing to do with anyone on the commission. It's been my privilege and honor to serve with all of you. But I just, you deserve, strong leadership that is completely committed, and right now that just is not within my headspace. So obviously I will be through the end of the year.
The year being
Through December.
December.
December. Oh, we'll hold elections. November, is that when we hold the elections? November. So I just wanted people to start thinking about what they might want to do, and I didn't want to spring it on us in November, so. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
It's been a great job, thank you. You all make it very easy. Correspondence publicity, do we have any?
Brad Lundberg from the Grosse Pointe News is here today in the audience, and he wrote about the July 26th storm. Covered that very well. And in tomorrow's issue, there's going to be an article about, there's going to be several articles regarding trees that affect our commission, but one in particular, an oak wilt scare. It's online right now. I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing. I kind of sped read it, but a sample sent to MSU Diagnostic Lab proved negative. So still no diagnosed case of oak wilt in the Grosse Pointe. Just leaf scorch instead. So
Is the storage better?
it's not deadly,
Okay, that's
right?
Weather was impacting all that heat.
That's right. Environmental
The
issues.
trees, that's.
That's what I get for publicity.
anybody else have any publicity or?
There are a lot of trees that were down throughout the city.
Yeah, I'll talk about that under my forestry report.
Okay, we're gonna move on to new business.
Well, can I mention something? And I want to thank Brad for this. He wrote a nice article about our Arbor Day poster contest winners. That was the July 6th edition. Did all of you see this? I'll have to pass it down. Just make sure I get it back again. Thank you. And thank you, Brad, for that.
Does anybody else have any other correspondence or publicity? Thank you. So we're gonna move on to new business, fall plant exchange. Are you still in for that?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a little bit of help. I went to the park and confirmed that we've got the reservation and plans for where the tables are. Still planning to do the outdoor as opposed to indoors. But I'm more than likely going to be starting a new job within the next few weeks. And I've got a freshman playing sports, so I'm just gonna need some help. I know, Pat, that you have your rummage sale at that same weekend, and it's not as well attended as the spring one, but anyone would appreciate that. Thanks. I'll make the flyer up and thank you. Well, thanks. Sure. What do we call it? Churro?
Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie.
It's gonna be your name from now on.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. It's just been, it's been a real hectic few weeks, and I'm also operating on half stuff with my family, so.
Excellent, well, thank you. And does anybody else have anything they want to say about fall plant exchange?
What's the date on that? October 7th.
October 7th?
Oh, yeah, it's down here at the bottom under dates to remember.
Oh, I see, exactly.
Beautification awards, do you want to tell?
You want me to do it? Sure. Okay, so, good news. We have all of the awards came in a very timely fashion. We had a few snafus, including our area, but all of that was resolved. We have, currently have 32 awards. We have 3 kind of iffy awards in my area, Area 1, that just haven't been maintained well since we were out. As I've driven by, they just haven't been, they're looking messy. Like, they look great in the beginning of the season, but so if you want to keep it to 30, we can drop 2 from Area 1. So I guess Pardon me?
How many total do you have?
32, we have 7, that we just haven't eliminated, we really have needed to eliminate. 2, there's 2 that we're definitely going to eliminate, and there's 2 more that I drove by them yesterday, and they just look weedy, and yeah. So when we went out and took the photos and we first nominated them, they looked like pretty fresh new gardens, but I don't know. I think if they're not being maintained. So if you wanna keep to 30, we can keep the extra, I think there's an extra in area, I wanna say 3 and 4, and maybe 4 and 5, I'm not quite sure. I didn't bring my list with me tonight. So what do you think?
Should we all go back and look at our areas to make sure it's all?
I'm confused because I thought we were limited to 5 nominations from each area.
We had 5, so I'm saying area 1 had 7. We dropped 2, we didn't have consensus in our area about approving all of the nominated homes. So we had 7, we're down to 5, right? But of those 5, we can drop 2 that are not being maintained well, because 2 areas has 6. So, right, so if we wanna stay with the even 30 number of awards, area 1 would be happy to drop those 2 that aren't looking so great.
Let's look at the list again.
What do you,
Should we look at the list again in total and see the 2 areas that have 6?
we can, you wanna look at it tomorrow? Okay.
I personally think it would be an easy solution all the way around since all the judgments get done. If you feel these other 2 are not really worthy of it right now,
I don't.
maybe go back and visit them next year and see how they're looking.
Mhm.
And then keep them, we're kept at our 30, but I
Right.
would also really strongly urge all the committees to keep your nominations to what they're supposed to be in the future. It seems to me that just the most expedient thing.
I
At
think
this
so
point, with the
too.
award ceremony so close, is to
And there's one house, yeah, in area 1 that right now looks, the grass is not being mowed. Like, I want to drop it and would be willing to go to 29 awards, because I just don't
It's
feel.
your area.
Yeah, I don't. Like,
Change of ownership or anything?
I don't know. Yeah,
Vacation.
it could be a lot of different things, but that home, it's beyond looking like it's at the end of the season. The home is, like, the grass was,
Oh, and even,
yeah,
Well, nothing's gone to press or anything,
No.
saying it, I would say, that would be my suggestion.
I agree. Does anyone feel differently? Is that okay? All right, so we'll be at 30 awards. We've got most of the photos taken. Shelley's not here today. She said she would give me a report tomorrow. The Century Home photos have not been taken. So we need to go out, it's like someone needs to go out and get that done. So she has not taken Century. We've got 5 Century awards. At this time, we do not have any business awards in. So we need to get out and get those photos done. I don't think we have any civic awards, although I have an idea for that. And we don't have a sustainability award. I've been asking around and putting feelers out, but it's not mandatory. But if anyone is aware of a home, a residence that has some sustainable improvements, it could be anything from lighting, heating, cooling. Yeah, and the home is deserving of a beautification award. Let us know.
we have a suggestion for the Century Awards,
Okay.
because we had to look at 200 homes this year.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah.
It's just gonna get more every year.
That's a lot of wine.
And, yeah, maybe, next year, that each area could look at the Century Awards in their area and pick out
That's
fair.
It does seem
That seems
fair.
much more fair.
And then we could go through those homes to just cut it down some,
That's a great idea.
to look at them.
We did find though that some areas don't have century homes. The way the park was
The way it was
developed.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, we thought at first we could get one and put it from each of the 5 areas, but that did not work.
Yeah.
It just, so, and that's going to be a problem another year, but I think we could at least take the list and divvy it up in 5 portions. It's too much. We spent a lot.
I didn't realize that it just fell on YouTube.
It fell on the 3 of us.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it.
several times too.
Just went ahead and did it because Ann volunteered to coordinate it, but it's a lot of work.
I didn't realize that there would be 200. Is that a lot more than last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot more than last year.
Oh, okay.
And there, a lot of them are in the Cabbage Patch area.
Sure.
Wow, that's lots of area, and then around in this area too. But then when you get up to the other side of Jefferson, towards that, there aren't any.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
There just aren't any in that area.
Does anyone have any recommendations for business boards? Do you have
Someone emailed me over the summer about the oyster restaurant. What is it, Brian? But
Brian
I
Oyster.
haven't seen any.
The new restaurant.
Yeah, Brian.
Beautiful,
Brian.
I think Brian should be nominated.
Yeah.
They did plant a lot of trees
They
in
did.
that parking lot behind them.
They knocked down houses for that.
Yeah, they did.
That's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, those houses were sitting forever. Being maintained and ran and there's so much going on.
No, that's not true.
A lot of here living there are not.
The people that owned them, they're the ones that knocked them
It's
down.
now open under, what is it called?
It's open.
What's it called?
The Rouge.
Red-
Rouge.
Red cock.
I haven't been in there since.
When it replaced one.
That's what it is.
Yeah, replaced Cornwall and then it was new.
Right, I haven't been in since.
Yeah.
Else. So Brian, Rouge. What do we, yeah.
So that's 2 businesses, the homes.
Yeah.
It does look very pretty. But that is kind of controversial. Controversial how it came to be.
Yeah.
Were people complaining about did the city receive complaints about the homes that were removed?
They started
There was,
started
yeah.
demolishing the house without anybody in the house next door. So they opened their side door and there's a demolition in there.
Kim?
Yes.
Also getting any new house, I mean, that's something, I can tell you, the house on Lake Point, I mean, people next door, they didn't know, I mean, all these sign houses.
That kind of stuff.
But there's safety concerns. You don't just
Sure.
go next to an open door.
Well, right, and you're supposed to call protocol, but you're fencing and that,
Yeah.
they're,
It's part of the city's fault. A lot of the city's fault.
well,
Okay, do you want to talk about the civic award?
Yes, okay, civic, Brian had one idea, remember? So when we first talked about adopting the signs, the welcome sign, the sign at Jefferson and Caju, the homeowners at that corner hired elements to maintain that for the
That looks
season.
nice.
And it does look
yeah,
nice.
it's really nice, I noticed
So
that.
I thought, well, really Brian is the one who came up with the idea, and I think it was a good idea.
Yeah,
Do they want to nominate?
I think so. It's one less bed that we have to pay gardeners to maintain, and it allows them to water the flowers and encourage them with Charlevoix. So they don't, so that, to be clear, the homeowners don't maintain it themselves personally, but they pay elements to do it while the elements maintains the rest of their lawn.
Well, yes, because it kind of flows out.
Yeah.
They would fold it into the yard.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
How's the sign? Is the sign in good shape?
I think so.
It looks
That one's
nice.
good on picture.
Yeah,
The
because I
flowers are
noticed
great.
that, I'm like, wow, the whole
It's like
thing,
fresh and
yeah,
bright
it's
and-
like all around.
Someone cleaned the sign.
Yeah.
That'd be for next year,
That's the next
Yeah.
And then
big time.
the next one, I'll talk about the Adopt a Garden in the old business, but I think we should nominate Kelly for a civic award. She has.
Absolutely.
We're both like,
Yeah, she's gone like over and beyond. I cannot tell you how much she has done
Oh,
at
yeah.
Patterson Park. Not just with the Monarch Garden, but with the Adopt a Garden program. We also had a total of 12 volunteers that have come out to work, not including commissioners. So I don't know, I thought maybe one of them is Jim and his wife.
Jim's great, oh
So-
my God.
And they've done, I think, more than, would you say,
So,
than anybody else?
Jim and I basically spearheaded that Monarch Garden, you know, like when I first started going there and working on it, I met him because he was walking by.
Oh,
And yeah, and but this was like way back in like March or so, when I was first like just going to survey the condition of the site, and he was happened to be walking by, and he's like, we started talking about a master gardener, and that was my wife. So basically him and I, and then later his wife, really worked on that garden together all summer.
I should include.
Yeah.
Diane.
Diana, yeah, yeah, so it was like the three of us, working on that, and up to when the Adopt a Garden started,
And they
they've come to
also-
that as well.
Yeah, they also did quite a bit of work, so, I'd like to put that out for discussion, and I thought maybe we could invite our volunteers that came out to the award ceremony.
I think that's.
If you think that's a good
Yeah, I think
idea.
it's a really good idea.
Kudos, people, the more time you give kudos to volunteers, they're gonna ask the word, and then they're gonna come again or get other people.
There's one more on Saturday, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk that one,
Yeah. I mean, even when they first out there and the fish flies were attacking. We're out there.
Really feeling that.
It was scary. I'm like, dude, I said, I'm staying for an hour, I gotta go, they're all, they just land, it was the flies were just flying over your hanging, and I'm like, we just, it's so hard. These two were just trying to throw it.
So
The
then-
bees.
do we have any discussion about the civic board possibilities?
I think
Is it okay?
The nomination for Kelly also came from this side of the.
Yes, she just mentioned it, I said.
Okay.
That's good.
You're nominated.
Around the room.
Yes.
All the way around.
Wholeheartedly.
Okay, so just if anyone hears anything for a sustainability award, I was really hoping that we could at least have. I've asked so many people, but I just can't find.
You're talking about a resident?
You know, I was thinking about that. Does it have to be a residence? Could it be a business? And
Let's see, why not?
Why
yeah,
not?
we've never
We
really
can all
defined
decide
the parameters.
This is for a house in it's thermal heating and. Does this sound at all familiar to you?
Well, there's one in Trottley in Essex, and we gave them a sustainability award last year.
Oh, okay.
Is that the same one?
No, I thought there was specifically one on
How can you find that
Who?
out?
Yeah, Grand Marais, there's another one.
They have to get a permit?
Well, if they have solar, they need a permit, so.
That's for going, right?
Timber
We're going to have the,
There's
so
one
they
on
had that
Grand
years
Marais,
ago.
I understand.
Yep, when they
That's
first
on the
started.
price, all right?
Grandma
Yep.
Ray.
Going has
Yeah.
the solar. There's another, there's a couple though throughout the city. All they have to do is call the building department or the
Yeah.
assistant, and she could
Right.
just Google in or type in and look, draw out permits for the last
And
year
then we
for
can
solar
look at that.
panel, and you'd be able to tell.
You're right, EMS would still work,
Mine, no.
right?
No, just call Lydia, she will.
Lydia.
But yeah, in the last, look for the last 5 years, I mean, anything that wasn't, it's, you know,
So anything like hydrothermal,
yeah.
any of that would have a permit and then, okay. I'll talk to Lydia tomorrow.
Well, even Kelly, she did something ingenious with her backyard with drains.
Oh, I have a rain garden.
She's got a rain garden.
But it's not in front.
It was, yeah,
It's very cool.
yeah. She's,
It was a lot of work.
I bet.
Yeah,
For 2 weeks.
daughter's helping and everything, that like, it's beautiful, it's back, yeah.
Are those the pictures you showed me?
I think, I'm
Is it
sure I
like-
showed you my rain garden. It had like a pathway through it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Okay.
Could we combine the civic award and the sustainability award?
We could, like, kind of roll it
I
together.
think that might be a nice way.
That's a good idea.
So that way if you have one or the other.
Get out.
Thank you, I'll step off.
We're also getting rid of a ton of our lawn in progress.
Oh, that's
but
good.
we
And
have
it's a
like
big
a-
one. That's a big piece.
Yeah.
My husband grew up there.
It's a huge project, it's a small world, we probably, it's like almost 700 square feet. There's one section is 400 square feet, and then the section by the house is 300. And I have like a teardrop shaped garden on the other side, it's like a little smaller, but that's what I've been.
Are you doing it like section by section? Or just like-
Well, it's like broken down into, I basically just extended the bed from the house, so
So
like
it's just
there was a small patch of grass, which didn't make sense, like right between the sidewalk and where the bed was. So I was like, just get rid of that, and we extended the bed, and then I cut a shape, because our grass actually naturally like dipped down, so I think there used to be a tree in our front yard. And so I cut a shape to like go around that, and then just literally one side's grass, and then the sidewalk borders the other two.
Another really interesting and sustainable front yard is Cheryl's front yard.
Yes, it's
Oh,
There's
There's no grass.
incredible.
It's amazing.
There's grass between the sidewalk and the street a little bit. Oh, a little bit.
That's all I have.
Very
What block?
good.
What's the block?
Harcourt.
Harcourt, okay.
It is incredible.
There's a couple other homes I noticed that are flipping over to that.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, all over it.
There's so many this year.
There's quite a bit.
Okay, do we have any other ideas for sustainability, civic, or business? Okay, I will bring sign up sheet for a whole of the things next time. And go from there. If you have anything else between now and then that you think of, let us know. Ryan's forester report?
So I'm gonna talk about the storm of July 26th. We lost, in Grosse Pointe Park, 16 city trees. Seemed like it was a lot worse than that because of the numerous limbs. So during a storm like, something like that, the first priority is to clear the streets. There are some large trees that came down, so you need emergency vehicles to be able to drive down streets, pushing the logs onto the easement, for the meantime. And next priority, phase 2, is removing trees from houses, which unfortunately there are a few of those. And then clean up the brush piles is phase 3. And then I'm really happy to say that within a week, we were done with those 3 phases of immediate responses. And phase 4, we're still in right now in this, grinding existing stumps and removing additional trees that were damaged beyond repair. And I'm not going to spend much time at all, but I'm the city forester for the city of Grosse Pointe and Grosse Pointe Farms, and I'm just bringing it up for sake of comparison. We were in Grosse Pointe Park hit the least in the city, which is about half our size, both in area and population. We lost 32 trees, city trees only. These are all city trees, twice as many trees. And the damage was far worse as far as brush piles. And then the farms, damages there were over 60 city trees lost. And the cost financially is approaching $500,000 over there. It's brutal, but it was. I've been here since '94. It was the worst storm I experienced since July 2nd, 1997, which I would consider 10 times worse. It took us all the rest of the summer to clean up from that storm.
Yeah.
And like I said, within a week, within a week, we're pretty much back to normal here in Grosse Pointe Park. A lot of that credit goes to, we have an excellent DPW. They're very skilled. They can do a lot of stuff in-house. Did subcontract things that we don't have the equipment for, such as hangers, dangerous hangers and trees, obviously, especially the equipment like buckets. And, I had contractors come out that same night, and we went to business and went to town. And this is, Lisa, am I pronouncing this correctly? Serendipity? Okay, thanks. The trees I ordered for Brian Frazier's memorial trees, 111 trees that I ordered back in early May. And because of delays with the nursery, they didn't plant them until end of July, early August, which I was concerned about because usually that's the hottest, dog days of summer. The serendipity comes in the fact that while we're still clearing up brush piles, a flatbed of 111 trucks, we're driving, planting trees as we're picking up the brush piles to create the area for them to dig the hole. So we lost 16 trees, but we planted 28 within a week. But it was stupid luck, the way it worked out. And then we got a lot of rain, which caused some more problems, but the rain was actually great for the trees.
Can I ask what kind of trees you bought?
Yeah, we planted over 24 different
No,
types of
which
trees.
lost, which ones did you lose?
Mostly silver maple
Okay.
and Norway maple.
The silver maple.
So for homeowners that had a tree that was on their property and fell on their house, you guys in DPW just did that for clean up those trees?
No, privately owned trees,
Yeah.
we have nothing to do with privately owned trees unless it's blocking our right of way,
Okay.
like a
Unless they fell
sidewalk.
that way.
So if a privately owned tree on a front yard fell into the street, we would clear the street and sidewalk, but we would leave all the debris. That's a private issue.
No, because I know I forwarded you a couple of people that had trees on their house with it. I know you responded to it, so I didn't know how that worked out.
Yeah, it's basically, it's not the city's problem.
Yeah, no, I didn't know.
Right.
They did it, just to get them out.
And they had another one in August.
Yeah, we did.
Because my neighbor's city tree, it went right into, and like all of a sudden 2:00 and more people are calling our house, what's going on? I'm like, I hear the chipper and then I looked down, I'm like, oh my God, the tree was just split right in half.
You're right, about a month later, we got hit again. And
Scary.
in that storm, by the way, Grosse Pointe Park got hit harder than the other two Grosse Pointes.
I figured that, because I'm like, man, this is.
24.
Yeah,
When did August?
Yeah.
Was it a big rainstorm?
it was a torrential rainfall.
You're out of town.
Oh, I heard it. I couldn't sleep anyway, and it was like, I thought my last window, it was like midnight, but then this was like 2 all of a sudden. Big noise. DPW came so quickly and they're like, shut that down. So cars parked there, a lot of times it's teenagers parked there.
But that's about it. Again, the Brian Fraser trees, it came at no cost to taxpayers. That was all donations in honor of the young man that got gunned down at Michigan State
Michigan
University
State,
who grew up at Harvard. And his family's still there. So I got a planting list for this fall that we have money budgeted for more trees. So we've already replaced more than we lost and we're gonna plant more.
Nice.
Thank you. Any other questions for Brian? Thanks, Brian. So move on to sustainability.
Okay, so, the big thing I did over the summer was the Adopted Garden program, which, I think was pretty successful. Like, so many thanks to Cheryl, Cheryl really stepped up to the plate. She was there at every event, she brought snacks and ice and coolers and gardening equipment. So a big thanks to Cheryl. We had very low commissioner response and attendance, so that was a little bit disappointing, but Pat was always there, Barb came out, even in Payne, she was out there pulling weeds.
And we had a total of 12 volunteers,
Outside of the commissioners. We had events on August 5th and
August 19th.
And the last event is this Saturday, September 9th, from 9 a.m. to 12. So I hope as many of you.
There will be food.
Yeah, there's
Doesn't even do it this year.
I felt bad because I've been having a lot of health care issues, so I just donated out of my monies to get those, the plants.
Oh, for
replaced.
like,
Yeah. I can't help but I was in therapy and it was a big thing.
Weather looks good.
Yeah, the weather
looks
good.
Great. I can send I encourage all of you to go out to the boardwalk and take a look and see what we've done.
There were some areas, Pat and I worked on areas on the 19th that were horrendous. Challenging. Like that was a challenge. I went home and just sat in front of my air conditioner for a few minutes.
And then go back
Hmm?
and trim away all those suckers around the trees.
Yeah.
Craig did that.
Oh, good, okay.
So that's done.
Is that still going to be, are we still just finishing up the beds there?
Yeah.
Or it will be
Mulch.
placed?
We're gonna finish up the beds.
Yeah. 9 to 12.
And I think we've done maybe 2/3 of the boardwalk.
You think so, Pat? Yeah. And really the difference that we made, just pulling the weeds and putting the mulch down, I think you should go and look at it. It really changed the aesthetics of the boardwalk. Unfortunately, we have a really bad problem happening on the other side of the boardwalk. So it's bindweed, invasive bindweed, and we've got both species. There's hedge bindweed and the field bindweed, and it's taken over. And it's on our shoreline, on the, watershed. Have you been out there? Has it gone to seed?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a multi-year, those bindweed roots go down 2 feet.
And the seeds are viable.
Yeah.
Oh,
How many years?
50.
Oh my God.
And it's probably enough water to the water and I'm dispersing it from southeastern Michigan.
Yeah.
So it's, someone has to deal with that.
It's properly maintained for several years.
That's
Right, it's just, it doesn't take long.
No.
It's just things over. Yeah.
It's a really good example of how invasive species will take over in native. Like, it's a great example.
It's a great, you should go down there and take a look. So after we get the bed finished on Saturday, I'll see if I can gather up some volunteers to start working on the other side. We can't have any children or anyone with like any health, it's.
I started
Some spots
clearing
are-
it from
yeah.
like on the side of it's kind of opposite the
difficult
butterfly
to
garden.
navigate.
But I only spent, just a little bit of time and it is dense.
It is.
It's, there are some nice plants in there,
There's-
but they're just,
They're
you know,
covered.
yeah.
There's been regulated.
Is there anything that you can do with those plants?
Well, it's hard.
Rent a goat.
Go.
Definitely.
I'm serious.
Oh, I've heard of that.
I've heard of
about
that
the
too.
specific type of weed.
So I'm not
If you got a-
opposed off the bat. I'm
There,
always into research. Maybe that would work.
So from the herbicide you can use, the bindweed
Right.
is just.
There's
that.
No, but you can just.
There are. I mean, if they're certification.
Well, it's not letting them go to sleep, right? And, I just had
I'm not, but I will.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, Trevor, okay. So that is something like that has to be dealt with sooner or later, and it's.
And there's I sent you a link for, I found this, Michigan has an invasive species grant program. And applications are due like by November. There was a webinar that happened this morning, but they'll be recording them to watch, I believe, in a couple days. I haven't had a chance to look
So
into
that's
it.
something the city
But
manager should apply for.
It's a it's a possible thing that we can get funding for. Because it is such, I mean, it's the bindweed, there's purple loose stripe, which is actually restricted in Michigan. I pulled a bunch of those. It's like a really pretty purple plant. You wouldn't know any better. But,
And in tall.
yeah.
That's a no.
Great relish.
We have that in our backyard.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
The other kind of mini purple tall.
There are several. Yeah.
Some good ones.
Purple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a weed. We don't
It's
have
a-
to
It
do
might be a good week.
Real briefly to how we changed over what we were concentrating on our June minutes so that the September minutes reflect, because we were going to do just.
You want me to go over that
Just
again?
yeah, so it's
Okay.
clear. from
So
our record.
the sign versus the boardwalk, so, okay, to go back, we originally Pat came up with the great idea of starting the Adopt a Garden program by adopting the welcome signs. However, the sign at, what is it, Brian? Where is it? Alter and Jefferson?
Yeah, right over here.
Jefferson, yeah, Alter and Jefferson.
Oh, yeah.
Is being maintained by Backer. Backer is responsible for that bed. The sign at Cadue and Jefferson was already being maintained by the homeowners. And then we found out that there was no garden at Cadue and
That was all torn up.
it was torn up. The city says there was no garden there before.
There was, yes.
There was.
You know, I disagree.
Okay.
Because that came up at a prior meeting, so I Google mapped it, going back 10 years, there's never been a garden there.
There have been shrubs all around there. The shrubs took over what was the garden. Brian, there was something there. I know. And as I said, the shrubs kind of took it over.
It wasn't in good shape.
Okay.
That doesn't mean we can't have a garden.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
little pocket garden.
So in light of that, Nick, is that correct? Asked us to do the boardwalk plan. Is that
Correct.
correct?
Yep.
Nick did come to us and said that they were struggling at Patterson Park to maintain a number of beds. And the boardwalk bed was an area that he really wanted to focus on. So we took that over. And it seemed overwhelming at first, but I have to say the amount of work that we did with 8 to 12 volunteers in 3 hours
Made a
was
huge
really more than I
difference.
expected. We got at least a quarter of the bed done the first day, maybe a third.
You would have done even more had there been more mulch.
Yeah, the second event, we ran out of mulch, there
Right.
wasn't quite enough. So Brian's going to work with Public Works this week to make sure that we have the mulch to do the rest of the bed.
Brian, I think some of the trees, if they're not basically dead or dying, there are some trees along that boardwalk that are not in good shape. Your mother's pawpaw tree is beautiful.
That is great, but there are what we thought were Bradford pears there that are terrible.
Yeah, they look.
Well, there is a Bradford pear there that I don't want to cut down because that's the infamous first ornamental pear tree diagnosed with pear trellis rust back in 2014, which Brad Lindbergh here covered. It was the first,
I see
that,
yeah.
Smashing it, exposed.
It's funny, isn't it?
It needs a plaque.
I was thinking about it. And I think the proximity to the lake, it blows the fungal spores. So it actually is not dead. There's no dead trees along the boardwalk that I know.
They're not dead, but
It's
they
just
just.
weedy.
They have so many suckers.
Well, they need
The energy is going to the wrong place.
Those trees are.
At least two of them we thought should be removed.
Two of them? Okay, let me know which two they are, tag them somehow, because I didn't notice any that should
Oh,
be.
you have no idea how many suckers we cut off.
Oh, yeah, no, it's greatly appreciated. It has not gone unnoticed.
Cheryl, you have any questions today?
I have to say one quick, first of all, Anne Baloo was also out working with us and I did not recognize you, so I want to correct that.
She was.
You were the first event, you were out with us.
I remember
We did it
Hmm?
when we went out to check the first.
Oh, but that still counts.
Yeah.
We were out there helping. One thing that, I thought was great, that as we were working each day, so many of the residents came up to us and
Yes,
to compliment us and to thank us for the work that we were doing and to ask us what was going on. I had a few emails this week, from people that wanted to volunteer. And we had fun. We were out working, but I had a great time out gardening with everyone. So I hope you guys can come out and say hi this Saturday. And then, do you want to hear about anything else? Because I feel like I talked a lot. Just a quick recap on the City Hall Rain Garden. Hopefully we are at the end of the, what would you call it? Just administrative paperwork and process that we're going through to hire ECT. We're still waiting for the approval to hire ECT outside of the bid process. So we contacted SEMCOG today. We're ready to go as soon as we get the go-ahead. Brian, what's the next step?
That's about it.
That's about it. And let's talk some more than that. Okay,
No,
that's it.
you said-
That's enough. More to come in October.
Any questions for Lisa? Does anyone have any old business? Hearing none. I'm going to open up the floor for public comments. I was advised by the city that we should probably be careful about keeping our public comment area down to 3 to 4 minutes. Just in keeping with that, because isn't that what it is at city council meetings?
What's the rule?
Yeah.
We have
3 minutes.
Right.
I think we're all very.
I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna like
Here.
pull it up, right? But
That raised.
so if we have any public comments, please feel free.
I can give a little bit of the update on the pledge, that kind of goes along with sustainability. But, so I brought this, give this to you to give to Michelle, a hard copy of the paper, the article. But I'm gonna pass this around, because I didn't print anything out for everyone, but if you wanna scan this QR code, it takes you to the Grosse Pointe Park Community Art profile on the National Wildlife Federation page. And so I've been updating it, so a part of doing the pledge, and then on the back is the article that we were in, that Diane helped coordinate with the paper to get that published about the signing of the pledge and the proclamation. But basically, so through the pledge, I've been updating our profile. I just need to keep track of like the different actions we've been doing. So there's a total, just to refresh your memory, a total of 29 actions that can be completed for the year. And so far, we've completed 6, which is amazing. And there's just 2 kind of that are almost done. So as of right now, we're looking at least 8 out of the 29 for the year, which would give us leadership circle status. We would be able to maintain that, which was prior, which was, they were able to earn prior and back in, was it 2016 or 2017 when you guys did it, first did it. And in addition to that, there's actually 4 more that were worked on prior that I would just need documentation to prove that we did it. So that would give us another 4. So in total, it would be, I'm hoping we'll get 14 is what we're looking at for this year, which is like,
That's amazing.
pretty exciting. And if you go on our profile, you're actually able to go, there's like links and documents that you're able to click on those and actually download the report that I've written so far. So you can actually see which actions that we did and what detail. So I won't go into that. But I did want to just give a little shout out to Cheryl over there. because we were, one of the actions, is facilitate or support a milkweed seed collection or propagation effort. And because of her loving care of the Asclepias incarnata, which is a swamp milkweed plant that reseeded in her garden, I worked with her to rescue over 200 plants and give them away during pollinator month.
And I still have 200.
Yeah.
She wants-
She still has more, which we're talking about for the boardwalk.
Okay,
Dig them up.
I will.
Yeah.
She got them all out of the area that they weren't supposed to be in. but that
Bring
was-
some to the.
Yeah.
So during like a series of different events I did like at the library and at Druff Garden and Lavender Festival this summer, I was able to give away over 200, so.
That's
It was really exciting, and we're planning on, so that's part of Action 11, and the other part to that is we're gonna plan on harvesting the seed pods in the butterfly gardens, which for one will help control the spread of more of that common milkweed, but we're gonna collect the pods and the seeds, and hopefully with some volunteers, we'll be able to sort those out and then donate them to Monarch Watch. There's a couple programs you can donate them to, so. Monarch Watch and Save the Monarch, so that will cover Action 11. And yeah, I guess I just need to connect with Lisa and Brian about like some of the things I sent you this document of the update for the pledge, just there's 4 that I need.
Which ones do you need?
So I need or I have questions about, because I wasn't sure if they would count, so like one is convert abandoned lots to monarch habitat.
Okay.
And I know that on your sheet, I believe you said you had done that action. Did we do that?
Berkshire and Jefferson, down at the park, that was there before.
Okay.
And
So I would just need like some sort of documentation,
Okay.
like pictures or just something that said like when you did, I need to know like when you did it and like photos that I could show that it was done, because, and then the other one was, plant milkweed and native nectar plants in medians and rights of way, which I believe, even if it's being maintained by BAFR, that would count,
Oh, yeah,
right? Like you
Yeah.
still have that.
we have it.
And then I think, Brian, you would maybe be able to help me with this one, earn or maintain recognition or earn it for being a wildlife friendly city, by participating in other wildlife and habitat conservation efforts, so like, aren't you doing like the green program, or what is the?
We're doing the Michigan Green Community Program.
Yeah, I think that would count for this.
And I think we
Do you have?
in 2022, we got silver status.
Okay.
2023 is still in progress. Do you think we're gonna make gold? Gold has some pretty high
Yeah.
scores.
that's pretty lofty, but we're.
But even if you.
We may
have,
just
like,
maintain our
We're
silver status.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would just need something that shows that you're
Okay.
working on it or that it's going, so the reports, my report has to be completed like, by November.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact date, but, they'll basically I submit the report and then they'll come back and ask me if there's anything that's like missing to explain more or something, but, and then the last one was direct city property managers to consider use of native milkweed nectars at city properties, which I'm sure you did, but I just don't know, yeah, I would need some sort of like date for when you did that or not, I could. Like if there was an email or something.
Did you ever have any of the other points reach out or connect and tie in or did they?
No, but I did, Jim and I did meet with, at the Helm, with Prudence and her garden team, and they, we went to their last meeting and, I passed out way station brochures and told them about Monarch Way Stations and asked them to consider including it. Including that in their planning for their gardens, and they asked me to help.
Oh my God.
Your spare time.
So I was like,
Like spread
like,
the
oh,
girl.
assignment, I'm like, okay. So, yeah, so, and then also Jim has been in contact with like the schools, so we're gonna try to do more. And I've connected with, Grosse Point, Garden Center and, Hope. And, cause I did some events for her this year and, so she does a lot with the schools, so we're gonna try to connect, 'cause that's one of the other actions which we Probably won't get to this year, but.
Nice.
You know, at Trombley in the front by the greenhouse, in that little area, there is an abandoned garden right there. I wonder what's in, I know it's school property, but I know like parents have been maintaining that garden for
Still.
a lot of years. So maybe that might be something that where you could convert some kind of abandoned space to.
We used to call it the butterfly garden.
Right.
It was
but
the
but I
butterfly
mean, there's
garden,
like
it had a rock
spurge-
garden around
Right,
there.
but there's like it hasn't been,
Yeah.
hasn't been since Trombley's been. That's just a thought.
So I'm really excited with our progress and I can't thank you all enough for your support and it's been great.
Before we adjourn, Pat, did you want to talk at all about the BCSEM?
Yeah, thank you. I will talk first about the 60th anniversary meeting of BCSEM that was held at Bayview, and it ended up being an absolutely beautiful event. It was very, very nice and very fitting that we could celebrate our 60th anniversary in that way. And we have an upcoming meeting, a quarterly meeting, from the city of Trenton. The City Beautification Commission invites you all to their Elizabeth Park venue, the Chateau on the river there. And that is September 21. And that's a Thursday. Yes. And I need to have the names of everybody to who is going, because I have to submit the reservation by the 7th. So if you would please let me know if you are going. They have some guest speakers, a gentleman called Jay Bibby, who is a planner with the Huron-Clinton Metro Parks. And he's done some other projects. And Tim Knutson from Beckett and Raider, and who does urban shoreline restoration. And he is also responsible for the Rotary Park master planning. So we always have interesting presentations. Plus, this is a meeting at which BCSEM presents their individual service award. And so that's also a very lovely occasion. Yes, tomorrow. I have to know.
RSVP by
I
tomorrow.
have to know by tomorrow. I have to get this in. I talked to her. She made that very, very clear. Do any of you want to give me your, yes, I'm going right now? If you do.
I'll go.
Okay,
Please,
we got-
sure.
Yeah.
I can't go.
I can go.
Where is Clinton?
Trenton, down past John River.
Downriver. Trent, got it. I know, I thought you said Clinton, so I'm like, oh, yeah. So Barbara and Trenton.
Here, Sharon. Did you have your hand up, Lisa?
Lisa did.
Lisa, Brian?
I can't make this one unfortunately, Pam.
Okay.
I would love to.
Well, we still have a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're not.
I'm not able to.
You're right.
Yeah, so that's right. Okay, you still,
I'm going to bring a guest and I don't mind
Okay, we'll
sending
work
them a
that out.
check or giving the city a check either way, but for your count,
It should be
or for my guests.
+1.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
thank you very much. Then I don't have to
so we
call a
can
bunch of people.
carpool.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we can carpool. We'll work that out. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have any other business? Do you have a motion to adjourn? So. We'll try a second. All in favor? We are adjourned at 8:06.
8:06.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Good meeting. I should tell you again.
Going there now.
It's important to know before that, so that we have to be. Oh, this isn't regressing. This is.
I can see that.
Get the other day, that's in the space out, please let out. And last night, too, it got dark.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.